Well, hello everybody, and welcome this morning. I hope I know for people you're at different time zones, different. Some of you are at the other side of the world, but from me, good morning. Some of you may say good evening wherever you are. I'm so glad you have made it here and that everybody's here to start our Algebra 1 class. We're going to start with our word of prayer, and then we will get into some more discussions about other things happening in class and kind of give you the layout and the feel for how things are going to work. But I'm so glad you're here. Let's start with our word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for each student who is a part of this class, dear Lord, and for the year that we are about to start together. I pray that your hand would be upon them. I pray that your guidance would be there for them and that you would just open doors for each student this year, dear Lord. I also pray that you be with us during the trying and frustrating times this year because we know we're going to have them. Pray that you remind each of us that we are here to continue to learn and grow so that we may fulfill all that you have before us. We may use our spiritual giftings. We may be the person that you created us to be. I ask that you be with us during class today, that we have a smooth first day of class, that students not be nervous or worried, but that this be a great opportunity to learn, meet new people, and just enjoy our time together. Watch over the families this week, dear Lord. Keep them safe. I thank you for your awesome event that we got to see yesterday for the eclipse, and really more importantly for the chance to look upward instead of focusing on all that happens here on earth, dear Lord. The world paused and looked up for a moment, and I pray more moments like that would come, dear Lord. I pray that you would redeem us, redeem our nation, and just help our eyes look at you. In your name we pray all these things. Amen. So, hello. How's everybody doing this morning or evening or afternoon? Good. Busy. I think that's probably really true. Okay, good. Oh, really tired. Yes, I can relate to that. Doing well. I'm glad to hear it. I promise that we actually do have boys in the class, but we just got back from the solar eclipse. That was fun. Oh, that was really neat to see, wasn't it? So I live in Texas, and so we got to see about 75% totality. So not the whole thing, but neat enough that the kids thought it was cool, and lots of parties of people watching, but it was pretty neat. Yes, it was so cool to see all that. Okay, so how many of you, let's do checker X. Let me first tell you how to do that. Oh, that's neat, Jessica. The crowd cheered when it went dark. Yes, that's really neat. Yeah, so we saw about 75% too. Yep. So um, let me first tell you, if you've never used this before, how to do the check or the X. Right up at the top of your screen, you'll see a little man that looks like he's raising his hand, and there'll be a little drop down arrow next to him. Okay, so if you could find that, don't click the man with the hand up because that'll raise your hand, but click the little drop down arrow and give me a check to show me you found that. Okay. Okay. Just find the little drop down arrow next to the man with his hand raised and go down and find a check for me. Looks like most of you have done it so far. Good. All right, most of you have found the check and have given me a check. So now I'm going to say, how many of you, so give me a check or an X. Is this your first online class? Check or an X. Is this your first online class? Most of you are going to be no's. Okay, good deal. So most of us, it is not, which is great. Some of you I've actually had in my classes before, which is really exciting to see you here. Excellent. So how many of you have used, clear this out, how many of you have used Adobe Connect before, the presentation platform that we're using here? How many of you? Check if you've used it before, X if you have not. Hey, Will, welcome. So some of you have, some of you are still looking. Okay, so check or X, have you used Adobe Connect, the platform that we're using right now, the presentation part? Have you used this before? Okay, most of you have at some point. Will, have you found the check or X yet? I know so if you click on the little drop down menu next to the man raising his hand, click on the little drop down menu and it'll give you an option for a check or X. Yay! Okay, so most of you are familiar with it. Most of you are familiar with Adobe Connect. Just know if you're not, it won't matter. You're going to learn as you go. Oh, you had to download something. Yes, but everybody made it. So that's like the panic of getting in is over. You've made it here. And you've evidently logged into our class, which is another source of panic. And I'm sure that when I check my email at the end of class, there's almost always one or two that are totally panicked. I missed class. I couldn't get in. Things like that. So it's just the nature of it, but everybody made it here. So that is the best part. Okay, let me open up our classroom. This is the page that you'll see when we first come into class. It's also the same page I'll put up at break. During break, I'll play music so that you'll know. What I do is I start the clock, start the timer as soon as we start break. And then when you hear the music start, you'll know that we are kind of winding break down. And when the music ends, break will be over. So that's your way that if you walk away from class, you know, oh, I hear the music, so I ought to kind of start making my way back. Yes, Grace, I remember. I'm glad you're back here with me. There are a couple of you that I've had with my class before, so it's kind of cool. Love that. Okay, so let me open up our classroom first, let you have a quick peek at everything happening here, and then start going over some specific stuff with our class. Yay. Yes, and thank you to those of you who are answering each other's questions because that's helpful. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And I'm going to continue to pray that we not have any technical issues. This is the first year my son is also taking a class at the same time I'm teaching a class. So that will be a tiny bit worrisome for me. And just to note, this is something I try to talk about on the first day. So while I know I can see the slides are still loading for some of you. So while that's happening, let me go ahead and talk about if there's ever a time when you get bumped out of class, just no worries. Come right back in as soon as you can. And you don't need to announce that sorry you left. You don't need to announce that you've returned. We all know we've all been through that frustration. So just come right back in and you're good to go. If there's a time when I get bumped out of class, yes, that happens. Even as the teacher, that happens sometimes. So if there's ever a time when that happens, you guys just hang out here for just a minute. I typically can get right back in very, very quickly. So no worries. If something happens where I can't get back in, then you'll know that it will expect an email to explain if something happens and something crashes and one of the 15,000 earth-shattering things that really aren't that serious, but they feel that way when you can't get back in. Any of those things happen, just expect an email from me to let you know everything's okay. So, welcome to week 1. I know, isn't that what you all feel like? Like, what? It's already week 1? Are we really back to school already? Or am I just the only one who feels that way? Because that's kind of what I feel like right now. Like, what? We're back to school already? Right? I won't say it's my level of enthusiasm, it's my level of surprise. Like, it's already over? Seriously? I thought we were supposed to have a summer and I didn't even get one, it felt like. Am I the only one who feels that way? Okay. Okay, good. Thanks, Jennifer. I didn't know if it was just me that, like, where did our summer go? I'm in Texas, so it's hot from like April to October, but at some point I thought we were actually supposed to have a summer off. I mean, I don't know if that happened or not. Okay, here's some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over everything from classroom information, meaning right here in our classroom, to class page information, where you came from. A lot of you have seen this before. A lot of you have been in my classes before, so you really have a good idea for what's going on. There are a couple of small changes if you've been in before, but I think there'll be better changes. There'll be things that'll help you guys even more. Office hour right now is just going to be by appointment. So whenever you need something, because what happens is when I schedule an office hour and I say, okay, we're going to meet this specific time on this specific day, it never fails that, 30 to 40% of you can never make it just because the time it's scheduled. And some of the times you would have available, I wouldn't be able to make it. So right now, all I'm going to say is by appointment. And when you have a need, send me a quick email. We'll go through, I'll give you a time. Hey, can you meet this time, or this time? And between the two of us, we'll find a time that we can meet so that you can get whatever questions you need answered and you're not going, well, I don't have that time. I can't come ever to office hours. I hated that feeling last year. Like there were students who could never make it. So I thought we would start off by appointment. Just send me an email. Can we get together? And we will find a time. It may be late at night. All right, so let's get off and running with some of this stuff. So, okay, so in my brain, this is what I imagine our class looks like. See, here's like the central thing. Everybody's got their scholarly little hats on and actively studying and working together, right? Isn't that totally what everybody looks like right now? You're sitting there with your little hat, totally focused and studying, and right? That's totally what it looks like right now, right? No? In my mind, that's what I imagine. So when we come into our classroom, everybody did a great job signing in today. No big issues with that. Some quick reminders about classroom decorum, classroom etiquette. I'll tell you, I love the chat running during class. I like to be able to interact with you guys, but I don't ever want it to be an issue with people being off topic. So during break, I leave chat open. I give you guys the option to hang out and talk during break. But during class, do your best to keep chat focused on what we're talking about. I'm definitely going to try to leave it an option for you to answer questions or ask questions. We will do things with the randomizer so that you can get a chance to go through and hopefully better understand all the topics and get to be called on in class and have some of that. I definitely love that part, that participation piece of class, and I'm going to encourage you to do it. I'm going to give you lots of opportunities to do it. I'm going to force you to do it if you don't want to, but I think it makes it a lot more fun when you get to do that. All right, some other things, and again, some of this will be new for some of you guys, some of it won't. Either way, totally fine, but I want to make sure we get it all clear up front. When you submit your homework, you're only going to submit one file. And so what I mean by that is, depending on how your scanner does it. So I use an app on my phone. When I use that, I don't have to worry about one or more than one file, because then it just loads it into one file. No worries. However, if there's a time when I scan it and it scans it as more than one page, like each page is its own file, then before you submit it to me, you want to put them together, and I'll show you a link for that. I'm happy to help you with that. But because what happens is some people submit 4 and 5 files or 23 files or whatever it happens to be, and that just overwhelms the annotator. Okay? So I want to be sure that whatever you do, whatever you receive, you submit it to me as one file. And what are the file types you can submit it? Anybody remember? Some of you are really good about this. What are the file types that you can submit? What do you remember? What are the file types that you can submit? Right, PDF, document, no pages, and we'll look at some of that. But when you submit it, here's what you're going to do. You need to make sure that all your work is completed. You need to make sure that you have checked your answers and done any corrections. Last year, we had what we called a homework check sheet. I've changed it just a little bit to a homework submission sheet. It's just a few changes, but I think it makes it a little user-friendly for you. it's a little easier to handle. And I'll go through, for those of you who are brand new, this will mean nothing to you, but those of you who did it last year, it's a little bit different, but like I said, new and improved. Okay. Also, how many of you have taken a chance already to look at the assignment calendar, print off your syllabus, those kind of things? Anybody taken the time to do that already? Okay. Not yet. Maybe mom did. Okay. Good deal. That's okay if you haven't. It's okay. Not a problem. But I just want to tell you, definitely something you want to do. You'll see on our class pages, yes, it has the assignment, but the assignment calendar, it'll say assignment list, has all of the assignments for the entire year. So then you aren't reliant on waiting for the pages to publish or any of that. You know what your assignment's going to be for the entire year. Okay. Definitely print that out, keep up with it so that you're not surprised by what's going on. And then it also tells you when we're going to have a test or any of that information that you want to know as well. Great idea just to print it up front so when you need it, you're prepared with it. Also, this weekend, you saw a post for one of the pages that has all of the answer keys, again, for the entire year. If part of your job is to check your work, and it was not required. Some of you did it, which is fine. It was not required to get this book, which was the teacher's edition. I only required you to get the student edition because I posted all the answers. All the answers are posted there for you. So if you have the teacher's edition, that's fine, not a problem. If you don't have the teacher's edition, that's fine, not a problem. All the answers are posted there for you to be able to check your work each week. Okay? And I made one page in our class page with just answer keys. So then you're not busy like, what week is this? How do I try to find it? All of it's on one page. And then the last thing are the selected problems. And I'll show you what those are for here in just a second. So far, so good. Everybody in touch, doing okay? Any big issues here so far? Oh, good, good. Okay. Good. So I don't see any big issues coming up. Everybody feels pretty good so far. That's exactly what I want. Okay, I'm going to actually work backwards through these. I'm going to go with the back page first. Yes, not everybody was able to make it today. Yes. So here is what I mean when I talk about selected problems. For each of the weeks of homework, you'll have your assignment list and it'll show you, and I'll give you a quick peek here at one of our assignment lists. Let me pull this up. Let me see if I can put it up here for you. Let's make it a little easier for you. There it goes. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you real quick so that you can see it. Now turn off video because this can be a bit of a streaming mess if I don't. So let me put up a quick share and allow you to look at what I'm talking about. This is in our class pages. What I'm going to look at is something on our assignment list. Okay, put it up here for you. I know it'll take just a minute to load. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. Okay, you'll see our class page is our welcome stuff. You can see our answer keys posted right here. But what I want you to look at, as I pull this up, all kinds of fun in our class page. I try to put lots of interactive stuff. Okay, some things that are important to you that I want you to see. Number one, on the right side, you'll see towards the bottom, all of the videos for this week's lessons. So sometimes in class, we'll go over all the new information. But sometimes in class, we'll be answering questions and doing other things. But I don't worry about that because I've created a video for each and every lesson that you can go through and get information. So basically, when you click on this video here, it will show you me explaining lesson 1.1. So this is the way I intend for it to work. When you're ready to do lesson 1.1, you'll click here and watch the video. The videos are usually about 10 to 15 minutes. I don't want them to be too long. I don't want them to be unduly burdensome. I don't want them to be a problem. So you try to make them short and to the point. So you'll watch the video first. When you watch the video, I advise actually working the problems with me. It's okay to pause the video and try to finish first, and then start it again and check your answer. That's a great skill. But watch with notes in hand, work the problems with me, then go and work the lesson. Over here on the left side, you'll see the week 1 lesson. It's got the different problems listed here that you're supposed to do in each lesson. So for example, it's usually about half of the problems. I don't want you to feel like you have to do all of them. But for example, on lesson 1.1, you're doing 1 through 49 odd. Okay. Lesson 1.2, 2 through 44 even, and then 49 through 53. And it doesn't say anything after it, so that means all of them. 49 through 53 is only 5 problems. Okay, so you can see all lessons 1.1 through 1.5 with the problems listed here. But right down here at the bottom, you see where I'm talking about selected problems. Can everybody see that okay? Okay, excellent. So what you're going to do here with these selected problems, after you've finished, I'm going to come back out of this so we can see it better. After you've finished doing your work, okay, get this away here. After you finish doing your work, you're going to copy down these selected problems onto the homework submission sheet where it says selected worksheet. Okay, it looks like the one that's on the slides right now. So you'll just list whatever problem numbers they were just now. That was 1.2, question number 44, 1.3, question number 39, 1.4, question number 34, and 1.5, question number 36. You'll put those right up here at the top where it asks for the problem. Just write the numbers, so that way you know what you're supposed to do. And then you'll work out each of those problems in one of these 4 quadrants. So maybe this was where you do 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. Great. Some of them have graph paper, so if there's one of the problems throughout the year that asks you to graph something, I put graph paper on there to make it easier. Doesn't matter which one goes where, as long as you get those 4 problems there, we're in good shape. Okay. Here's the good news. You've already worked the problem out, and you've already checked your answer. At this point, what you're doing is putting the work and the answer on there for me to look over. Okay, that's what you're doing at this step, putting the work and the answer for me to look over. And I have purposely chosen problems that require work to be shown. I don't want it to be something where you're going, okay, what do I actually have to do? Anything but the answer? No, that's crazy. Okay. So as you're going through and working them, you're just doing them on your own. When you're finished, then you just write them on the selected problems sheet. So this is one part you're supposed to turn in. Now, what does that mean? You do not have to submit all of your homework to me. If you want to, you are more than welcome to do that. But you do not have to, because I'm going to look at these 4 selected problems as representative of the work that you've done. Okay. Then the other side of that homework submission sheet looks like this. A place for you to be able to put your name and the date, the lesson number that you're working on. Then here you want to list any problems that you missed on that lesson. That's, for those of you who've had me in the past, very similar to what we've done before. But I've added something additional. So maybe from lesson 1.1, you missed problems, 14, 22, and 31. And you got all of them to make sense, except you still didn't understand 22. Still needed some more help. You weren't sure exactly what you missed or why it went like that. Okay. So you'd write over here on this column, I still need help on, and just question number 22. And then maybe on lesson 1.2, you didn't miss any. So then there's nothing to put. Just put none and none. No problem. Lesson 3, maybe you missed question 14 and 15. And you don't need help with either one of them. You figured them both out like that. Does that make sense? What goes up here at the top? So far, so good? Okay, good. Yay. All right. Then, once you've completed all that, you'll put the week number down here at the bottom or in the middle, and you'll put the date that it's due so that you know when you need to submit it. So, for example, today's Tuesday, so your work will always be due the night before the next class. So it'll be due next Monday, the 28th. Where you are. Okay. Then you're going to take your homework and all of your stuff and get it together to take to a parent to sign. So here's what you need to do. Down here on the left, you'll see your directions, and then over here on the right, you'll see your parents' directions. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to complete all the homework that was assigned. Then you're going to use the answers and check your problems. It's up to you whether you check your work or whether your parents check your work or whether a sibling checks your work, whatever your family feels like is best. But you do need to check each problem, and you need to try to fix any that were missed. This is what I mean when I say corrections. Go back and correct any that were missed. My son thinks that's my own special form of torture by he's like, Mom, can't I just get one wrong? Why do I always have to go back and correct it? I said, well, because really that's where the true learning occurs. Something you thought was right was not. What actually should you have done? So that's when you go back and rework any of those problems that you missed. Okay. Then, once you've done it, corrected it, made any changes that you need, go ahead and copy those 4 selected problems onto the selected problem sheet. And most of the time, a lot of you will print this front and back or 2 fronts. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Whatever works best for you. But copy those problems down onto the selected problem sheet. And take that selected problem sheet, this homework submission sheet, and your homework, carry to mom and dad, let somebody trusted adult who's responsible for checking it. That's it. That's what your side of it looks like. Then here's what your parent needs to do. They'll look at your stuff and say, do you have your homework submission sheet finished? Did you complete all of it? Did all the assignment get completed? Did you do all the problems, basically? Okay. Is the work neat? Is it numbered? Problem number 1, here's the work that goes with problem 1. Problem 2, like that. Have you checked all your work, and have you corrected any that you missed? That's all a parent is looking for. Did you do the work? Did you check it? Did you correct it? Okay. Then, if they see all those things, they'll sign it right here in the middle. There's where the parent's signature is going to go for your work each week. Okay, so the questions you've seen. How do we know what 4 problems to hand in? Each week, just like you saw on that thing, and on our assignment list as well, there's a thing that will say selected problems, and it will list the 4 problems that you need to do. Okay, you'll see that on your assignment list, and you'll see that on our weekly assignment block in our class pages. Okay, we only have to turn in the submission sheet. Okay, so it's 2 pages. The submission sheet is 2 pages. It looks like this. One is the homework submission sheet, and one is the selected problems. Okay. Those are the only 2 things I require you to submit, because your parent has already looked to make sure you've done all the work, looked to make sure that you've checked it. And you've told me here if you have any questions that you need me to talk about with you. Okay. All right, so that's what it's going to look like when it's time to turn stuff in. Once you've done that, you've shown it to your parents, they've signed off, then you should be ready to submit your work. Okay, so you're submitting those 2 pages, the homework submission sheet and the selected problems. Those are the 2 pages that you're going to scan and turn into me. Correct. Correct. Yep. And if you need some help, there's an app on your phone that's free that will scan and put papers into PDF files. If you have a printer scanner that can do that, there's lots of different ways to do that. I'm happy to help you with technology related things too. So if you have any questions related to that, let me know. All right. Anything else? Any other questions you can think of at this point? Give you a second here. Think about some of those. Any other questions you can think of? Good. Anything else? I see several of you know you're good, you're feeling confident. But anything else you can think of? All right, I don't see anything. Yay. Okay, so if you have no other questions, we're actually going to play a game here. So we're going to play Inside Out game. How many of you have played Inside Out game before? I'm going to stop video because all of you fun little children are about to write on the board. That's fun. Who's played? Good. Some of you have played with me. Some of you have not played before. Perfect. So here's the way Inside Out game works. I'm going to ask a pretty much yes or no question. It's possible there could be a maybe in there, so I gave you the option for maybe, but most of these are going to be pretty much yes or no questions. Okay. When I do, if your answer to the question is yes, you're going to type your name on the inner circle. If your answer is no, you're going to type your name on the outer circle. And if we have an occasional maybe, you'll type it here in the dark blue section. So outside the circle, outer circle, inner circle. Everybody understand what you're going to do? There are all kinds of fun yes or no's, things that are interesting, and then we're going to do several of these type of things today. So fear not, we will have actual fun today in class too, so don't worry. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you should all have the ability to write on the board. If you're able to write on the board right now, write your name. And yes, remember we want to use the capital T text drawing tool. That's better than the other. So yes, no, here you go. So how are you going to tell me you can do it? How are you going to show me? We're playing the game right now. Let's see if we can figure it out. Here we go. Oh yes, several of you have figured it out. And do not worry if you accidentally put yours on top of someone else's. We can move it. That's not a problem. There it goes. Yay. Okay. So it looks like good. Okay, I only see one person whose name I didn't see down there. Good. It looks like everybody's there. Excellent. Okay, so here we go. All kinds of fun yes or no questions that will hopefully be entertaining and engaging for you guys. Okay, so let's see here. Yes or no, have you ever had a cast? Have you ever had a cast? Okay. Fun. Okay, here we go. Let me erase this. Yep, all you got to do is to put your name in the right spot. It'll make it fun. Let's see here. Have you ever slept until after 1 p.m.? You ever slept until after 1 p.m.? Put your name in the right spot. Have you ever slept until after 1 p.m.? There we go. Okay, most of us are no on that one. And I will probably give you guys, if any of you have fun yes or no questions once I'm finished, I'll give you a chance to ask as well. Okay, let's see here. Have you ever held a snake? Let's see here. A lot more yeses on that one. Don't remember. Okay, that's fine. Not a problem. All right. Have you ever driven a car? Ever driven a car? Okay. Sort of. You drove on someone else's lap. Okay, so that would be fine. Good deal. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. How about do you sing in the shower? Do you sing in the shower? So, okay, that works. All of that's fair. Okay. Let's see here. Let me think. I think I'll ask about 3 more, and then if any of you have ideas you want to ask about, I'll give you a chance to do that as well. Let's see here. Do you consider yourself artistic? I would be a big, giant no on the outside, but do you consider yourself artistic? All right, lots of you. Wow, we've got a pretty talented class here. Okay, let's see, 2 more. Have you forgotten a loved one's birthday? You ever forgotten a loved one's birthday? Maybe you don't even remember if you forgot it. That's fine. Okay. Let's see what else here. Okay, have you ever played a prank on someone? That's a good thing, Grace. We need those people in our lives. Uh-oh, a class full of pranksters. Watch out. Oh, funny. That's funny. Not on a regular basis, just from time to time. Okay, so here's your chance. Anybody want to ask? That has to be a yes or no. Oh gosh, Jessica. Didn't even notice. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Didn't even notice. Oh my goodness. That is too funny. Okay, so if anyone would like to ask a yes or no question, it has to be a yes or no question for the class to give insight out on. As long as it's appropriate, if you would like to ask one, you may. If not, that's okay too, but I thought it might be kind of fun. Absolutely. Do you want to do it on microphone, Jennifer, or do you want to just put it in chat? And Grace, same thing. Do you want to put it in microphone or on chat? Okay. If you want to put it in chat, go ahead. Okay, I see you typing. Okay, do you have any pets? There you go. So go ahead and type your name. Yes, no, maybe. Do you have any pets? Wow, lots of them. That's awesome. One more person still typing for do you have any pets? Oh, Jennifer's down there. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me pull this one off. Here's the next one. And it says, do you like to buy funny socks? Uh-oh, some of us are funny sock people. That's awesome. Okay, fun questions. Okay, let me take all this off and let's see. We got another one here. Do you have any siblings? And I'll add to that one in a second. Do you have any siblings? Okay, so here's my question then. My question is, if you have two or fewer siblings, put your name in the yes circle. If you have 3 or 4 siblings, put your name in the maybe circle. 5 or more in the no. So 2 or fewer in the yes, 3 or 4 in the maybe, 5 or more in the no. It's kind of fun to see. And you can see everybody's. Excellent. Okay. Anybody else that was asking a question? If you'd like to ask a yes or no question, we have time for about 1 or 2 more. If anybody else wants to ask a yes or no question. Still a pretty good sized family, right? Ooh, wow, that's a big one for sure. Wow. Okay, then if there aren't any other questions, we're going to do another fun game here. So these are the questions that we could ask. Some of you have seen these before. These are always kind of fun questions. But, okay, hold on. Oh, Will has a question we can do for yes, no, or maybe. So Will's question is, have you read the entire Harry Potter series? Have you read the entire Harry Potter series? Perfect. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to do this a little bit differently than I've done it in the past. So you just saw the list of possible questions. What I usually do is spin the randomizer and let you choose one to answer. But I don't know if I'm going to do it that way. I may do it a different way. But these are the questions I'm going to potentially ask you. So take a minute and look at them. And then when we come back from break, be prepared with some answers. Okay. So it'll be kind of a fun way to do that. And so we'll do that. We'll do some kind of other getting to know you specific questions. And then we'll talk about some other fun things related to class. So let that come up. Time for break. Again, during break, I'll go back to the other setup and you can chat. You can play Rochambeau if you'd like. And then you'll hear the music to kind of let you know it's time to start heading back to class. So see you guys in just